Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Yahweh. Double honors unto the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. I was this morning, I was talking to someone, and I didn't finish it because, we both had to go. I had to come over here. Person had to leave. So I'm going to just finish what I was talking about so that, all can, maybe, know about it too, right? Now, this is the book of, because it was concerning the Jacob descendants and who the Jacob descendants are. And the scriptures gives you like indications and stuff like that by scriptures, of course, but also through things that are happening in the present, which were predestined to happen like 2,000-3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago even. So with that, we start with it right now. Who the Israelites are concerning the scriptures, and then how to prove that those people over there in the land of Canaan right now, the land of Israel right now, which is those are not the real Israelites concerning the scriptures, right? Because it says right here, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, the word of Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days, which we are in right now, according to the book of Hebrew chapter 1. Let me get that real quick, right? Hebrew 1. Yahushua was already in the last days because he says it right here. Now this is Hebrew 1 and 1.
Hello, everybody.
Hebrew 1 and 1. The Most High, who with sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. So that's how the Most High talked to you, right? Talked to the Jacob descendants back in the days, nowadays again. And in these last days spoken unto us by his son. So since Yahushua was on the scene back then, that was actually the last days, whom he had appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, which goes back into Colossians chapter 1, verse 17 on down, and also 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 5, because it says right here, 1 Corinthians 8 and 5, for though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many, and lords many. But unto us there is but one power, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Yahushua Mashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him. So going back to Hebrews 2 and 1, no, 1 and 2. And in these last days spoken unto us by his son, Yahushua, whom he had appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Heir of all things, he gets to inherit every single individual thing that you can see and that you cannot see, that you can hear and cannot hear. That's his property. He got that from the Most High Yahweh. And we, the Israelites, the sons of Jacob, are going to be joint heirs with the Lord Yahushua when he comes back. So we're going to be joint heirs according to the book of Romans chapter 8. We're going to be joint heirs with Yahushua. Right. So going back to Isaiah. Put my phone away. Isaiah chapter 2 verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established at the top of the mountain. And by the way, I'm reading this to show you that the Israelites are not in the land of Israel right now. And because the scripture will say that once the true Hebrew Israelites are back in the land of origin, then there will be world peace. But now everybody should know that World War III is coming. So they cannot be the Israelites according to these scriptures right here. These few verses, which are only 4. There's many other scriptures in the Bible, but I'm gonna use in this case these 4 individuals. Now, the word there are in my mountain is explained by Zechariah chapter 8, verse 3. I often use this one. There's others, like Psalms 31, but this one is better. This one explains it right there. You know what I like? I like scriptures that will explain things very fast. Even though I take long to explain something, that's good. I think it's good. Why? So that you can fully understand, Lord willing, of course. So that, Lord willing, you can fully understand what it actually is. Listen, in order to know something, how to explain it, you need to know the origins thereof. If you know the origins of something, the origins of something, the source, then it's better for you, it's easier for you to explain it because you have understanding. With all that wisdom, with all that getting, with all the wisdom that you got, get understanding. So I always give this example. It's like a TV. Okay, you understand that it's not somebody. You understand that the television is a reflection of someone, but you don't understand how the inside of the television works. If you understand it, then you're gonna start thinking like, hey, it's real crazy how it actually is able to depict a person, because it has all these pixels, and they together are like a brain. They form an image. Because if one pixel is off, you're gonna notice it. You're gonna notice a bright red spot on the TV, or you're gonna notice a black spot. And you're gonna notice right away that it's something wrong with the TV. That's because all the lights work in sync. They got millions of them, and amongst the millions of them, the computer itself, the brain of the television, tells the screen to lighten up this image, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Anyway, if you understand it, then you're gonna look different toward things. You're gonna see different things. For example, if you see someone doing dumb shit, you're gonna look at them and you're gonna not like them. You're gonna see them as somebody that's very irritating, because you see different. And they're gonna be like, "Oh, you hating?" I'm looking at you like, well, you give me a reason. Because the scripture saith, basically, woe unto him that hated his brother with no cause. Like there's nothing wrong. But it doesn't say like, okay, if you have a cause. Even though you shouldn't hate, actually don't hate. I'm very angry. I'll tell you that. Very angry person. Especially when people do dumb shit continually. I can't stand that shit. But it takes a long time for certain people to get angry. But once, I know a few people, right? Like if they get angry, man, you did some shit, man. But I understand. But like I said, having the understanding of something, and then rationalizing it in your mind, is the best solution for anything and everything. Why? Because once you start understanding stuff, then you can get past it, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me go on. Now it says here, Zechariah chapter 8, verse 3. Thus saith the Heavenly Father Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, and Zion means, let me read it, and then I'll talk about it. Okay, so, thus saith Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and a mountain of the Lord of hosts. Wait a minute, let me read it again. And the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. So that mountain is talking about a government. So Zion, by the Heavenly Father, is called a mountain. So what does the word Zion mean? If you look up the true definition of the word Zion, it goes into the word parched place. Parched place is P-A-R-C-H, and then E-D, parched place. The word parched goes into dry it out. And how are the Israelites dried out? They lack this truth. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 1 until 14. And then the other one is Yahushua came to bring water to the Israelites. John 4. Alright? And also Jeremiah chapter 2, of course. But that was the Most High, the fountain of living waters. So he came to bring this water toward the Jacob descendants. And then therefore, the parched place is now going to be watered. Because the truth is going to be in them. Because the Jacob descendants are like a plant, a tree. So, once you give that tree water, it's going to grow. But if you give that tree GMO fluoridated, all kind of chemical waters, that plant is going to die. And that's what's happening with the Jacob descendants concerning these false doctrines and false philosophies. Right? So, let me read it again. Zechariah 8 and 3. Thus saith Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, because we need that water. And will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, just like how he did back in the time of the Ark of the Covenant. And when the Ark of the Covenant was in the midst of us, he was in the midst of us, because he dwelleth within, above the, well, he didn't dwell there, but it was written. Let me read it. It was written that he dwelt there. So when it says he dwells in the midst of us, in the physical form, he was there in the ark. And in the spiritual form, he's in the midst of us since back then. And now also, but only in a few. Number 7. Numbers chapter 7, verse 89. And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation, Isaiah 33 explains what the congregation, the tabernacle of the congregation is. It's the tent where the Ark of the Covenant was in. So let me read it again. Numbers 7:89. And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation to speak with him, then he heard the voice of one speaking unto him from off the mercy seat that was upon the Ark of the Testimony, from between the two cherubims. And he spake unto him. So the Most High was talking to him there. Wait. I have another scripture. 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 4. It says here, so the people sent to Shiloh. Now if you know, Shiloh is in Ephraim, but you had an Ark of the Covenant that was there. So 1 Samuel 4:4. So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. I just read that in Numbers, but I'm going to read it again. Which dwelleth between the cherubims, and the sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were with the Ark of the Covenant of the Heavenly Father. So, the Most High dwelleth between the cherubims. And then Numbers 7 and 89. 89, yeah. And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation, he went into the tent to speak with him. Then he heard the voice of one speaking unto him. So Moses heard something like, huh? But he's not bewildered. He knows what's going down. But I'm just giving a visual, Anyway, so he's like, huh? I think I hear something, right? It's like Samuel heard it too. But at that time, the voice of the Lord was very scarce. Let me get that real quick. Now 1 Samuel 3 and 1. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Most High before Eli. And the word of the Most High was precious in those days, meaning a lot of people, it was precious. It's something that you don't come across very often, very precious, right? So it says here, and the word of the Most High was very precious in those days. there was no open vision. There were no open visions because wait, because Samuel is the only one that the Most High spoke to after. Wait. So it says here, Acts chapter 13, verse 20. And after that, he, the Most High, and after that he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years until Samuel the prophet. So, what happened? For 450 plus years, the Most High didn't send no prophet. He sent judges. The whole book of Judges is an era of about 450 years. And then after 450 years, that's when he started to send out his prophets once more. And that first one that came around was Samuel. So when he talked to him, he didn't know. He didn't know that is how it goes. He was hearing voices. It was like, huh? What? Then he went to Eli. Hey, did you call me, sir? Nah, go back to sleep, man. You tripping. He did that 3 times, then, and Eli started, it's the Most High talking to him. Oh, okay. Next time, say this, hear my Lord, or speak to me, and thou, you know. And then he did so, and then the Lord started talking to him, right? So, same thing with Moses, but Moses knew. Samuel didn't know, because it was 450 years before the Most High basically showed himself. Well, let himself get heard. So, Hebrews 1 and 2, had in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, Yahushua, whom he appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world. I didn't need to read that, but anyway. Because the Most High dwelleth within the nation of Jacob, of course, but in the physical form, he was dwelling between the 2 cherubims upon the Ark of the Covenant. And Leviticus 16 explains that to you. I always say these, you know what the fun thing is? I always keep on repeating. That's a dope thing to me. Why? Because people are I'm gonna sound like a broken record. They're gonna start knowing it by heart, by mind, because they'll be like, oh yeah, I already heard that. Good. Because the scriptures often repeats things. One prophet says it, and then the other one says it too. You'd be like, huh? You already said it. The scriptures is full of repetition. Can't get it, can't you get that to your greasy head? Huh? The scriptures is for you, but only you shall know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Unto them it is not given. Fuck them. So going on, it says here, Zechariah chapter 8, verse 3. Now it says, didn't I? Okay. Zechariah 8 and 3. It says, thus saith Yahweh, I am returned to unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, because he is in the midst of us. Nowadays, by the way, nowadays, back in the days, what did you need to do with the Ark of the Covenant? One time a year, the high priest only was allowed to go in the ark within the second veil where the Ark of the Covenant was. And then he was supposed to sprinkle blood. It's explained in Leviticus 16. Sprinkle blood upon the mercy seat. The mercy seat is the lid of the Ark of the Covenant. And you sprinkle the blood upon there. But nowadays that blood is already sprinkled, and that's symbolic for Yahushua in the physical form. But basically, he's symbolically the Ark of the Covenant. And by the way, the mercy seat means it basically is an atonement. That's what it is. And who is the one that brings us the atonement unto us? Yahushua. So he's literally the spitting mirror image of the Ark of the Covenant, but in the physical form as a man. walked around on the planet Earth. So I am returned unto Zion, and I will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. So the Most High is going to be back with us again. First and foremost, before he comes, he's going to send his men out. Like, hey, go announce me in the midst of them, so that they know of my coming. So when I come, they have no cloak for their sin. They can't be like, I never heard of you. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. I never heard of you. Yeah. Mosiah is not going to be like, oh yeah, I understand. Nah. You're going to get it. So, 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. Right. So it says here. Verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure out the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, was already prophesied. Verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of people in the world, verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So once that destruction comes, you gonna know about it. Hey, they already was talking about it years before it already happened, before it happened, like it is happening right now. Then they're gonna know like there had been a prophet among them. Because a prophet is basically a person that reads the scriptures and tells you about the future things that are gonna happen. That if a person is not talking about the future things that are gonna happen in this present world, then basically those people are not the definition of the word prophet. Now the definition of the word prophet, it's not like a big thing, man. Sorry, the status is a big thing, but I mean, like, you know, it's just a way of saying before, to say before. That's what it is. I mean, the wicked have prophecies. Esau has his prophets and his you know, for example, they do, of course, witchcraft, and they're telling each other like, okay, if you do it on this day, the thing that we want to do is not going to be successful. If you do it on that day, it's damn sure as hell, 90, almost 100% that it shall be successful. Well, they do stuff like that, you know. That's why they do things on their feast days, Halloween and stuff like that. But anyway, enough of that. Let me go on. So, the Most High is sending out his men to go and tell them of the destruction that's coming, right? So that he knows, like, so that people know, like, hey, now it's time to get back to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Or else, it's not going to be a good thing. Zephaniah chapter 2, if I'm correct, or maybe 3. And it says the day of the Lord is darkness and gloominess. Right. So it says right here. Wait. Zephaniah 8 and 3. Thus saith Yahweh, I am returning unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called the city of truth, because we're all going to be speaking the truth. We're not going to sin anymore. It's going to be like, you know, following the commandments, like thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not lie, right? Because bearing false witness is you're testifying against someone as a false witness, but it's also it also goes into lying. Anyway, Jerusalem shall be called the city of truth, and the mountain, and it shall also be called, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. So, the Jacob descendants are the holy mountain of the Lord, and the mountain is talking about a government, because the government, for example, they're going to have a summit meeting in a few days, if I'm correct, a summit meeting G7 or something like that. So, what does the word summit meeting go? What does it go into? A summit meeting is a meeting of the leaders of the people of the world. that make up new laws, pull them out of their butt cheeks or something like that, or make the rent more expensive, make things more expensive, and then they allow these type of things. They bring up laws. Nowadays, they got a law in like 38 states of America that you can't say nothing against Amalek, or you can't. Well, let me say it better. You can't boycott Amalek. Their how you call that thing again? Their businesses. You can't boycott their businesses. But if that is already implemented in Germany for now more than what, 40, 50 years, 40, no, I think 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. If you go there and you say certain things, they'll lock you up. They're gonna give you a fine, you know. And here in the Netherlands, they kind of got it to a certain degree, but not really fully as in Germany. They don't got it like that. Anyway, so it says here, going back to Isaiah chapter 1, to chapter 2. Put away the phone. So Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days, which we are in right now. By the way, the days is talking about 1,000 years. So, one day is as 1,000 years with the Most High. Sorry, one day with the Most High is as like 1,000 years here, and 1,000 years here is a day with the Most High. So when it says like basically 2 days ago, that's 2,000 years ago. That's when the Yahushua was on the scene. And if you think that we are in 2025 right now, then you have no idea how the world works and how Esau thinking to change times, laws, and even seasons. He changed the seasons. For example, March is actually the beginning of the year. That's when the animals start coming out of hibernation, frogs, bears. That's when the bees start coming up, popping up, insects. That's when they come up, make babies. That's when they start to mate. The animals start to mate. So that's the beginning of the year. And not winter time, not winter time, because that's basically in the dead of the year. And then spring, that's when life springs forth through the animals mating, all that there. That's the beginning. And you can also see that through the zodiac. The zodiac signs, I'm not telling you to read it because I don't. But I know about it. Just like how I know about the Roman numerals, which I hate. But I know about them. I don't know them. I know only 1, 2, 3 because I saw Rambo. It never went out of my head. Even though I wish it did. And 2 games like Final Fantasy, I know about that. So I think I could count till 10. Don't want to. Anyway, so I remember that. And then, therefore, basically, shit, I lost the one. I kept on talking shit. What was I saying? Wow. Yeah. Romans. Wow. See, I'm distracted a little bit. Damn it. Yeah. Oh yeah. 2000. Oh yeah. Let me get that scripture because I was. Damn man. Wow. Let me get that scripture so I don't forget it. Talking. Change. Now, this is the book of Daniel 7:25. And he, Esau, well, it was the ancient king back then, but nowadays it's Esau. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Slavery. And think to change times and laws. He changed times. He puts the clock an hour forward. Think in the summer, and then winter he takes it back. And he changed the seasons too. because he didn't change. Well, let me say it better. He does teach about that March is the spring, but he does also teach that March is the third year of the third month of the year. And by the way, it's not no freaking March. That's one of his idols that he worships, like Jupiter. Jupiter is not talking about a planet. They named the planet Jupiter, and if you read the scriptures, you will see that the word Jupiter is in there. So, of course, I learned that Crapolonian school. So when I saw that for the first time, I was like, you think of a planet when you hear the word Jupiter. You don't think of a man, an idol. That's what Jupiter is. That's what Mars is. Mars is an idol. It's not no damn planet. He didn't go over there. Since when can you claim a land or name it, but you haven't been there? That's what Esau's doing. So he just named stuff after his idols, like Monday, Sunday, Helios, which goes into some kind of sun god worship thing. But they got that from the Hamites. So it's all a cesspool of intergalactic fucking around, intergalactic fuckery, basically an orgy of filthy, nasty, satanic orgy of all these idols bubbled up together. You got the Canaanite ones, Mizraim ones, which are Hamites, but anyway, they still got different ones. You got the Mesopotamia ones, 3,600 gods over there. They're a troop. They serve the table unto that troop. Isaiah 56. That's that troop. A whole troop of them that they worship. And the Israelites were doing it too. Our forefather Nahor and Terah, they were doing it too. But anyway, those are just these idols that people worship, and then they mingled everything together. And then, if you look up the Greek names, or the Roman or the Greeks gods, and you will see it's the same thing. And then the Greeks, they got their idols from the Hamites, and the Hamites, they shared and got idols from Mesopotamia. But anyway, let me go on. So, right, he thinketh to change times and laws, because we're not. Let me read it again. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. He just made up laws, man. You can't do this, you can't do that. You're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do that. He changed laws. He changed the laws of the scriptures of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For example, a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, and the other one is, a man shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a woman. But he says nowadays it's a law to express yourself. Right? And Sodomite laws too. But anyway, let me go on. And they shall be given into his hand. So the Israelites are given into the hand of Esau by the Most High. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times, which is where we're in right now. Like I said, the earth is not 2,000 years old, and we are not in 2025 right now. If you think the earth is only 2025 years old, that's how he changed the times. He was like, no, we're gonna count again. There were people before zero. Wasn't the Roman Empire before zero? Wasn't before that the Greek? Before that the Persian? Before that, I think the Babylonian. Before that, the Assyrian. Before that, if I'm correct, it was the Egyptian. If I'm correct, but I know that I might have messed up the order. But I do know that those were world empires. Now you had the Asian dynasties. You had the Islamic dynasties, which is where they had a form of power concerning the world, no, not the world, a region, I should say. But the Assyrian, they had a whole world area, and the Babylonian too. The Greek, of course, Romans, and okay, enough of that. which is so going on. Isaiah chapter 2 verse so he thinketh to change the times. 2 verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord of hosts shall be established in the top of the mountains. So the mountain of the Lord of hosts is going to be established in the top of all the mountains upon the planet Earth, which is talking about the governments. Which is talking about the governments. And shall be exalted above the hills. So the lesser hills, the lesser governments, the Israelites are going to tower over them. You know, we're going to tower over the others. We're going to be on top of all the other governments, which you have to understand. These empires were great empires. You have to understand that. You got the golden head, silver torso, copper, like, from the hips and stuff like that. And then you got the iron legs. And you got the clay and iron feet, which is partially strong, partially weak, which is talking about the empire that we're in right now. And that empire can make your life horrible but make the life of the people of the earth, of the world, horrible by saying, I'm going to raise tariffs, fuck y'all ass up. And everybody on the planet Earth is going to have to go along with it. Because Daniel chapter 4 shows you that Nebuchadnezzar was that great tree. Now Esau is that great tree. And he has the power over all the earth as far as the eyes can see, even what you cannot see. So he still rules over that. And then therefore, once that time comes, the Most High, according to Revelation chapter 17, he's going to cause all the heathen nations to get angry at him and burn him with fire. We wait for that day. It's very near. Going on. So, Isaiah 2 and 2. That the mountain of the Lord of hosts shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Ain't nobody flowing onto the Israelis right now. It says that when the true Israelites are back in the land, and this is a prophecy. It says in verse 1, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah, they would be the topic, and Jerusalem, which is collectively all 12 tribes, because Judah is Judah and Benjamin. It is explained that to you in the book of Isaiah. Let me get it for you. First Kings, First Kings chapter 11. Wait, what the fuck? It is explained unto you that Judah represents Judah and Benjamin. I was thinking of something. First Kings chapter 11, verse 11. Wherefore the Most High said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rent the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant, which was an Ephraimite. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David, thy father's sake, but I will rent it out of the hand of thy son, which is Rehoboam. Howbeit, I will not rent away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son, for David, thy servant's sake. And for Jerusalem, they playing around with each other. And for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. So, what did the Most High say? He said, for David's sake, I want to do it unto you. And for Jerusalem's sake, I want to do it unto you. So 2 times for David. He will not do it unto him in his time. And the second time is he will do it to his son, but he will not take all the tribes. Because it says right here, Joshua 18:28. And Zelah, Elath, and Jebusi, which is Jerusalem, Gibeah, and Kirjath, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin, according to their families. So, to whom belongs Jerusalem? Jerusalem belongs to Benjamin. That's his city. He has been given it by the Most High, and you can't take it away. Numbers chapter 27 and Numbers chapter 36 explain specifically to you, you are not allowed to take 1 millimeter, 1 millicentimeter of land from another tribe. But in Jerusalem, you had Judah and Benjamin living in that land. So they kind of shared it to a certain degree. Why? North of Jerusalem was Benjamin. And then south of Jerusalem was Judah. There was kind of, not in the middle, but Jerusalem was more to the border of Judah in the land of Benjamin. Because it says right here, Joshua 18:28. No, I already read that. Judges chapter 1, verse 21. And the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem, because the Jebusites, Deuteronomy 7, which was one of the Canaanite nations, that is where the land Jerusalem was actually named after. Well, they was there first, I'll say that. So Judges chapter 1:21, and the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem, but the Jebusites dwelled with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem unto this day. We didn't kick them out. Joshua 13 explains to you that we should have kicked them out. We didn't. And that's one of the reasons why we're here right now, because we started to follow after their gods. Judges chapter 2 and 3 explains that very good to you. So there you know. Okay, now the other one comes. Joshua 15 now. So I just read Judges 1:21. And now I'm going to read Joshua 15:63. As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out. But the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah at Jerusalem unto this day. So it shows you that Judah and Benjamin, they had joined ears of Jerusalem. But you need to remember, Jerusalem is Benjamin's land, but Judah ruled there. That's why when it was talking about in Zechariah chapter 12, when it speaks about Jews, it's talking about Benjamin. Because there was the mighty men of Benjamin, they was boasting themselves over the regular, not mighty men of Judah. And the nobles of Benjamin, the nobles, the mighty men, the men of rank and status, the Most High said, thou shalt not boast against Judah. And also the nobles of Judah, and the nobles and the princes of Judah and the kings of Judah, they was boasting themselves against the regular people, common people, average people of Judah. And the Most High said, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. So, 1 Kings chapter 12. 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 20 and 21. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again. Jeroboam is the servant of Solomon. Rehoboam is the son of Solomon. Jeroboam is Ephraim, Rehoboam is Judah. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation and made him king over all Israel, which is talking about the northern tribes. There was none that followed after the house of David. The house of David is talking about his bloodline, which is the royal bloodline, the royal seed, and they was having none of that. So it says here, there was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. So the house of David was followed by the entire tribe of Judah. That shows you that when it says the house of David in Zechariah 12, it's not talking about you, nigga. It's talking about the bloodline of David. Now, are you the bloodline of David? If you are, then it's talking about you. Right. But in the end, all Jacob descendants will get that power, but the house of David shall be as God. That's what it is. Rank status. If you want to get jealous or something, I'm going to give you an example of how things work. The Most High didn't kill David when he committed adultery, then murder. He killed Uzzah when he touched the ark, and he wanted to do it in all goodness. He didn't want the ark to fall, so he reached out to it, and the Most High was like, "You're gonna die today," and he died right there. You know, hey. And he died right there. So people might be like, "Well, that's not fair." Fucking deal with it. Kill yourself and go tell them how you feel about the situation. How about that? Me, I don't give a shit, man. I don't care. As long as I make it, get my own spiritual power, I don't want to have nothing to do with nobody else. I already have plans in my head. Lord willing, the plans that'll come out on a silver surfer type dip. I'm gonna just leave, man. Dip on a solo. I've been thinking about that. So I'm on that old school tip, like, fuck them. I'm on a boat for show. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a shit. Anyway, I'm like that. I've been like that, eh? I've been done it. Now it says here, 1 Kings 12, and the rest of 20. There was none that followed the house of David, but the entire tribe of Judah. They followed the house of David. Who's the house of David? Solomon, and then Rehoboam. Verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah. That's the house of Judah. So everybody that comes from Judah is the house of Judah. Everybody that comes from the house of David is the house of David. But the house of David comes from the house of Judah. Right? But the house of Judah doesn't come from the house of David. It doesn't go backwards. It goes forward. So the people of the house of Judah are not the people of the house of David. And if you wanna, well, let me get something for you. You might not know. It's Luke chapter 2, verse 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem. Why? Because he was of the house and lineage of David. So that's his bloodline. That's not you. People be like, I'm from your heritage. No, you're not, nigga. We join ourselves unto the house of David. That's something else. Nigga. I'm just fucking around. I'm just bad. So Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7. The Most High Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first. The tents of Judah is talking about the house of Judah. Because back in the days we dwelled in tents and not houses. So it's the same thing. Why? So why shall the Most High save the house of Judah first, the tents of Judah first? Why? He's going to explain that the glory of the house of David, that's the bloodline of David, and that's the royal bloodline, right? And the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, which are Benjamin, and Judah, because they lived there, both of them. The other tribes wasn't living in the midst of other tribes. Not like that. Not like they're gonna have ground. You can't have land. It's impossible. Numbers 36 and Numbers 27 explains that specifically to you. That you can't be Simeon and then go to Naphtali talking about, I'm gonna get land here. Nope. The Most High said, every man shall stay to the inheritance of his own father. So therefore, when it talks about Jerusalem, it's talking about Judah and Benjamin. In this case, because a lot of times when it talks about Jerusalem, it's talking about all tribes. Sometimes it's talking about Judah and Benjamin, just like all Israel. Sometimes it's talking about the northern kingdom. Sometimes it's talking about all the 12 tribes. So it depends on what sentence and what is written, how it is written, and the context and stuff like that. Context means in a get-together text. You put the text together, that's context, right? Like conspiracy. They come together to conspire against something or another, or make up a law or something, which is the word is truth. Conspiracy is not some bullshit. It's literally conspiring. And I was talking about this years ago. No, well, not years actually. I think it was last year, maybe two, I don't know anymore. Anyway, I keep on saying that I'm gonna release the video. I keep on forgetting it. It's crazy. Lord willing, I'm gonna remember it. Anyway, the Pokemon thing that I told people that, well, I made the video showing you that the government was mapping the world using stupid people playing the stupid Pokemon Go Pokemon game, like grown up men walking around chasing Pokemon. You know what the government did with that? They mapped out the whole world. You know how much money you spared them? You know how much money it would take to have individual government workers go out there and literally map the world? Man, they would be spending a lot of money. But they're not gonna do that because they got a game for you to be playing. Go get them. And then the places that they haven't mapped yet, they would put a so-called rare freaking, I don't even know these things, Pokemon thing. I was too grown up for that nonsense. Anyway, they would put a rare Pokemon over there. I saw grown men doing it too, but anyway, they would put a rare Pokemon somewhere that they haven't mapped out, and then they would be like, go get him, boy, go get him. And then the people would flock all together massively, and all you had to do is this, scan, it's done. That's why you had Iran not allowing the Pokemon in their country. You had Russia banning it too. Certain places in Japan banning it too. And China. You can Google all this. You can type in Pokemon Go. Let me type. I'm gonna put it for you. How about that? Let me write it. How about that? Right. You had that ban going on, and then basically they mapped the whole world for Esau for free. You didn't even get money. And on top of that, you paid them. They made you pay for working for them. How about that? That's how smart Esau is. He's a genius. You get it together with each other, then they conspire to pull a fast one on you. I bet you're behind that you're angry you didn't get paid for mapping out the world. Anyway, so Zechariah 12 and I'll start at 7 again. Yahweh also shall shave the tents of Judah first. Why? That the glory of the house of David, which are the nobles of David, and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, which are the Benjamites, and the rest of Judah, do not magnify themselves against Judah. So, don't magnify yourself. I see a lot of people, especially on the internet, boasting about how other Jacob, especially Judah, how they broke niggas. It's broke niggas. It's broke. You boast your fucking self, right? they're boasting themselves. And they think they're cute. You might be standing next to a fucking killer, looking at you like you talk shit. And they're gonna hurt you, man. They're gonna hurt you once that time comes. I'm talking about like a hunter. Like a hunter kills because he's on a predator type tip. He's looking at you, scanning you like, this guy. Keep on talking that shit. Once that time comes, you're gonna be hunted. And then you have other people that just don't know what the fuck's going on around them in the planet Earth. Watch out for them hunters. Anyway, so the Heavenly Father said, because there was a lot of fighting going on in the midst of them, boasting about this and that and stuff like that. Anyway, verse 8. So it says here, what's up? It says here, in that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. That's the ultimate supreme warrior right there. So let me read it again. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. And the house of David, which is the bloodline of David once more again, shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. There's two sides. He's before them. He's in front of the Israelites. They are in front of the Israelites as the frontline soldiers. And also in front of them as before them. Because they're going to be against the enemies. Because it says right here, verse 10. Well, I don't need to read that. That's in Micah chapter 5, verse 7, 8, and 9. Well, I can read it for you. That's going to be the rest. Let me show that. Micah 5 and 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from the Lord. The dew covers everything. It makes everything wet. Right? Even under the table. When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it doesn't get wet under the table. But the dew, it gets wet. It covers it. Unless you pray to the Most High like Gibeon, then a miracle's gonna happen. Because Gibeon prayed, and the other side of the bowl didn't get wet with the dew. And then he prayed for rivers, and then that other side didn't get wet. He was like, what? Everywhere got wet but that thing? Let me get that. I forgot where it was. Oh yeah, I got it. The power of you. Judges chapter 6, verse 36. And Gideon said unto the Most High, if thou shalt save Israel by my hand, as thou hast said, behold, I put a fleece of wool in the floor, and if the dew be on the fleece only in the morning, and it be dry upon all the earth beside, then shall I know that thou wilt save Israel by my hand, as thou hast said. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna put a fleece of wool on the ground, and then if only the fleece is wet and the rest of the land is dry, then I know you're with me, right? Okay, verse 38. So Judges chapter 6, 38. And it was so, for he rose up early on the morrow, and thrust the fleece together, and wringed the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. So wool absorbs water. So he wrung it out like a wet towel, and he filled the whole bowl with water. It was like, what? That much? That's not a coincidence. It's literally impossible. But with the Most High, nothing is impossible. But anyway. So verse 39. And Gibeon said unto the Most High, Gibeon's name was changed later on to Jerubbaal. Eh? Yeah, Jerubbaal, not Zerubbabel. That's another one. Jerubbaal, basically. Verse 39. And Gibeon said unto the Most High, let not thine anger be hot against me, because he about to ask something stupid. Okay, don't get angry, okay? But, so, let me ask the question. And I will speak, but this once, let me prove, I pray thee, So let me test it out if that was not some bad coincidence. But this once with the fleece, let it now be dry upon the fleece, and upon all the ground let there be dew. And the Most High did so that night, for it was dry upon the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. So, what did the Most High do? He made it to where he reversed it. First time the fleece was wet and not the ground, and the second time the ground was wet and not the fleece. So he did that, right? Sorry. Mm-hmm. Wait, sorry. Um, okay, so now Micah's 5 and 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as the dew, as a dew from the Lord. A dew covers everything, except the Most High changed it. But normally it covers everything, just like it's raining right now. And I can't even hold my phone like that. And definitely not my Bible. You know, it's for the precepts. So let me dry it out because I can't see anything. It's wet. Like a. Let me not say that. Anyway, I was fucking around. Micah 7 and Micah 5 and 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as the dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for man. Just like how the showers upon the grass is not waiting for me right now. Oh, let me wait until he's finished reading the Bible. And then I'll read. Sometimes the Lord actually did do that. I went through it a few times. Exactly when I stopped teaching, man, thunder coming, all that there type of stuff. All that there. So all that there came up about when I was done. I was like, the Most High kept back that rain, man. Extremely happy. So I knew he did it a few times with me, though. And maybe it was lucky. I don't know. Hey, see? I turned it to Gideon. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just think about it, you know. I can't prove it. Gideon wanted it to be proven, and it was proven. But I'm not gonna do that. It was something. I just be like, it was my lucky day. That day. Those days. Right, so it says right here. Hold on. I was busy here. So it says right here. So, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man. The showers ain't waiting for you, my man. It's not waiting. Nor waited for the sons of men. The rain is not going to wait for you until you get to a safe, dry place, and then it's going to shower upon you. That ain't happening. Unless you're Gideon. Or you know, Most High's with you. So it doesn't mean that if he doesn't do it, he's not with you. You know, keep that in mind too. Oh man, I can't stop the rain. Most High, most likely ain't with me then. Really? Verse 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts. So it basically said in the verse before this, it says that once the Jacob descendants get their spiritual powers, they're not gonna wait for you. They're not gonna wait for no man. They're gonna come slaughter you. The hunters are gonna come and slaughter you, man. Esau been a hunter for nearly 3,000 years now, 4,000 years now. 2,000 ago was 0. 2,000 before that, 2000 BC, was about that time of Jacob and stuff like that. Abraham, Jacob. So he been a hunter since 4,000 years, 4,000 years now. He's almost done. He's almost up. The time is up for your hunting time to be. Job 14. He cannot pass the bounds set for him. Just like the waters cannot pass the bounds of the sea, the boundaries. set for the waters. Sometimes the waters might come on land, just like Esau. He might fuck you up, but that's because the Heavenly Father allowed it. That's also what's going on. What about tsunami? It comes on land. Yeah, because the Most High did so. Everything that happens is the Most High. Even a bird falling from a nest. I saw a bird the other day. Fell from a nest, couldn't fly. He was calling onto me, man, but that's one of my delusions again. But anyway, I was playing around with him. But I wanted to put him back in the nest, but I was thinking, like, if I touch him, the parents are not going to feed him anymore because they're going to smell me. They're going to abandon the child. I know that. Because, like, in Suriname, when I was younger, you know, we had, you would go out there. I ain't no city slicker, though. You go out there in the, forest, stuff like that. Might get your ass lost if you go there. A lot of people died. But anyway, or a crocodile will eat you. Or a fucking panther. You got panthers down there. But anyway, it's going on. So, went out there, did things and stuff like that. Let me leave that story. Anyway, let me go on. So it says here. Oh man. Let me focus on just this. So I'm all over the place. I'm gonna think too much. So Micah chapter 7, 5, verse 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be amongst the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep. Who, if he go through, will tread it down and tear it in pieces, and none can deliver. Nobody's going to be able to save you once the Jacob descendant hunters get that power. Your ass. Verse 9. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thy adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. So basically that's the precept, continual precept. So what is mentioned in Zechariah 12 when it talks about that once the men of David, the men of Israel go get their power like David, the average ones, and the ones of the noble bloodline of the Lord, of King David, those are going to be like the angel of the Lord in front of them. Let me read that part again. Zechariah 12 and 8. And the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. So they're going to be as the angel of the Lord in front of the enemy, and also in front of as frontline soldiers. Verse 9. And it shall come to pass that I will seek to destroy all nations that come against Jerusalem. At that time, the Most High is going to unleash the terrible ones. So, 1 Kings chapter 12, verse Kings chapter 12, verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men. 1 score is 20, so 4 score is 80. Which were warriors to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, the house of David. Right? So that's that part. Now going back to Isaiah chapter 2, which says Isaiah 2 and I'll start 2 again. It says, I don't want the scriptures again right, man. I don't like that. I think it's kind of stopping right now. Okay. So it says, Isaiah 2:2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord of hosts shall be established in the top of the mountains, the other governments, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So people are not flowing onto the Israelis right now because they're not the true people of the Lord. Or else everybody would go to them. Just like how they come to America. Just like how they come to England. A lot of East Indians go to England because for a better life. A lot of East Indians, Chinese, Japanese, Hamites, Africans, they all go to America. The South American people too, they go to America. Indonesia, all the way on the cross of on the other side of the world, across of the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, if I'm correct. All of them all go to America, or they want to go to France, or they want to go to here, Netherlands, just Europe, West Europe at that, not East Europe. Ain't nobody flocking to go to live in East Europe. It's the East European Edomites. They're flocking to come over here. Russians flocking to go to America. Ain't no Americans in big bulk are flocking to go to East Europe or to go to Russia. It's the other way around. You know? It's the other way around. Because everybody calls them the beacon of light. They are now in this position. Let me read it again so that you can now imagine the book of Jeremiah. No, Deuteronomy 20. No. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. Everything shall be turned unto them. But wait, that's not actually what I was thinking about. Exodus chapter 11, verse 7, where it says, there shall not a dog move his tongue against the sons of Israel. Esau got those type of blessings right now. For example, if you say anything about Amalek, you might be in trouble. But in the kingdom, you're gonna be in trouble. If you say not a dog shall move his little snout against the sons of Jacob, you're gonna die that day. You know? But with Amalek, you're gonna be in trouble financially. Basically, he's gonna starve you to death. How? You're gonna lose your job. And if you're a celebrity, you're gonna lose your sponsors. And then therefore, how you gonna pay for that house that costs like $1 million? And that costs like to keep the electricity up, costs like $1,000 a day, a month. Sorry, maybe less. I don't know. You know, it's gonna cost a lot of money. If you got a fat ass mansion, yeah, don't think that it is. Look all cute and all that there, but you have to understand the payments that come with it. The electricity bill, the water bill, is gonna be for 3 houses or 2 houses. It depends also how many people are in that mansion of yours, but still, it's a lot of money to maintain. You're not gonna be able to clean the house all the time, and most of the time when you have a mansion, you're not at home all the time because you're always busy working. Unless you have been born into wealth, then you don't have to work. But then you're gonna be gifted businesses. Then you're gonna have servants cleaning the house, gardening, stuff like that. But that's another story. Only the elites have that. But the celebrities that came into riches, that's why a lot of these celebrities, they lose their houses. You know, they lose, like Nelly. If you look up Nelly abandoned mansion, you ask yourself, like, how the hell did that happen? Bad mistakes, bad choices. No, man, what the? See, I knew. That's why I don't want that, man. I knew it was gonna tear up. Oh man. So anyway, let me read on, man. So it says here, verse 3, and many people shall go and say, so Isaiah 2:3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. The house of Jacob is talking about all 12 tribes. The house of Ephraim, or for example, sometimes, well, the house of the individual Ephraim is only talking about the house of Ephraim. It's only talking about the tribe of Ephraim, right? The house of Benjamin is talking about every single individual person that is a descendant of Benjamin. Now, the house of Saul, that's talking about Saul and his household. That's not talking about Saul, his brother, or Saul, his uncle. It's not talking about none of them. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4. Oh man, I gotta use the tape. Oh yeah, I got the tape in my. I gotta sit down and do this, man. Shit. Anyway, so Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3 again. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways. So the Jacob descendants are going to teach us the world, and all nations shall flow unto them. They're going to teach them of their ways. Now everybody is not learning nor desiring to learning the ways of Jacob. Let me give an example. The slave descendants don't even have a country, so I can't give examples. Yeah. The countries that you're in, South America, for example, that's not your land. You were brought there. And the natives, like Native Americans and stuff like that, that's not their land neither. They took it, but they inhabited it, but that's originally not their land because they fled onto it. It's not your land. Your land is the land of Jacob, which they fight over right about now. So going on. That's your land. So Isaiah chapter 4, verse I don't really want to read from the I'll do it, but I mean, like, I didn't want to do it now. I just grabbed my phone. I wanted to say I want to grab my Bible. I mean my phone. So Isaiah chapter 2, verse the rest of 3. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. Now everybody is following the path of Esau with the flying reindeers every year, with the bunnies that lay eggs every year. I'll keep on repeating that so that you can get it in your head. I'm like that record on the radio that you hate. I don't know if you hate me. I'm just giving an example. A record on the radio that you hate, but you hear it so many times that when you're in the showering, and then you start humming that song. What just happened? Yeah, that one. Because they repeated it so many times, you're gonna start remembering and humming it. It's gonna be subconsciously in your mind, in your head. You're gonna play it over and over in your head because they played it over and over in your ears. Well, I hope I do the same thing, but the only difference is I'm telling you that I'm doing it. Them, they're not telling you that. They're doing it on purpose. Even though that's why they call it people industry plans. To be like, your songs ain't even dope. How the hell are you number one? How do you think? Why do they call Elvis the king of rock and roll? Clearly, it's stolen from us. Country music is black music. They stole that from us too. And now they call themselves the kings of, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Before you know it, they're gonna call themselves the gods of rap. You might say Eminem is an Israelite. I don't give a fuck about that shit, bro. Does he subscribe to Yahweh? Shut the fuck up, nigga. Does he subscribe to Yahweh Shemai Shai? Shut up, nigga. Because I seen Israelites talk shit. I talk shit about them too. But I seen Israelites talk shit about how you call this guy? Floyd Mayweather. You know, the boxer? Because he was calling himself an Israelite and all that there. I seen videos where guys was like, man. So I'll be like, okay, I don't give a shit. But I see the same motherfucker through Eminem, he's an Israelite though. I wanna climb a fucking tree and do a WWF fucking elbow on a type of motherfucker. Cause I'm like, God damn, that nigga sucked cock his penis, man. What the fuck was that about? Man, you need to get that shit out your mouth, man. And walk straight. And be straight. That's why your hair is curly. You ain't got straight hair. That's why my hair is curly. You got the people with straight hair being gay. And the people with crooked hair Those are the straight guys. I'm just playing. There's sodomites and all type of cultures. I was joking around. Anyway, as I was saying, let me read it again. Isaiah chapter 2, pardon. Isaiah chapter 2, verse on the rest of 3. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So they are the ones that's going to lay down the law upon the planet Earth, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Indianos, and Jacob descendants. And we're waiting for that day. And we're waiting for that day. Once we get, I'm going to tell you to walk the plank, just for fun. I'm going to tell you what to do. And you're going to do it, and I'm not going to chase you. You're going to willingly want to do it because you're going to know I'm a torture type nigga. Verse 4. And he will judge among the nations. Jacob will judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. You're going to chin check them. You can't do that. Oh, you'd be wrong on that. You know? Nowadays, for example, you got Esau. He's the one that's chin checking people. That's why he's able to give you a how you call that thing again? A no-fly zone, or they're gonna block you from feeding your people. Now you're gonna starve to death. That's what they do. Look, when they take your sponsors from you, and they take your income and stuff, fire you. Not what you gonna do now? He doesn't have to kill you. He just sentenced you to a starvation sentence. How you gonna get income now in order for you to pay your mansion, for example, or to basically feed the people of the land? You know, because what do? They make sure that import comes in and export goes out and stuff like that, and also vice versa, right? So if he puts a no-fly zone, then the farmers, they can't ship anything and to other countries, because you have to understand. Look, when you have one farm, you can't eat everything. You're gonna have to sell it. The more farmers there are, the more people are gonna get fed, and the cheaper the food is going to be. Because everybody now is able to get the food. If the food is scarce, it's going to be more expensive because there's more demand. If there's 10 apples, for example, and all of them cost €1, and everybody, hungry, ain't got money, well, then everybody's going to be able to eat. But if there's 100 people and only 10 people have the money enough to buy the apple, which is not €1. Let's say the apple is €100 now, and everybody got like 50, except for 10 guys. They got like 200. They can buy the apple. That's why they make it expensive, because they can't feed 100 people. They can only feed 10, and they're gonna make it expensive so that not everybody could just get it. But anyway, I understand that, but that's a whole nother story. So the no-fly zone thing is going to cause you to starve to death, because you're not going to be able to get food to the people in other countries. Because like I said, when you have, is it over? I know the, I mean like inside. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yo, hey, you been playing, man. Calm down, man. Calm down, Mr. Rain. Yo. I gotta find another place. Damn. Damn. Oh. I did not expect this. I thought this place was safe. It's kind of safe, but it's right in front of me, but I still get wet. Shoes gone. If this was the winter time, I would have been in trouble. Because my toes. She's walking nonchalant with her umbrella looking at me. I'm dry. I know you're dry. That's why you need lubricant on the television. You know, these white chicks always need lubricant. Not for a dick, for their own husband. They need lubricant. Have you seen the commercials when they say, do you have problem with a dry vagina. That's not what they say, but that's what they're selling you. They're selling you lubricant because your husband can't get you. What? Oh man. Sorry, man. I went off topic for a little bit because I can't read anyway. I should have kept it spiritual. I saw the girl, so she was looking at me like, I'm dry. Yeah, I know you are. Right. Damn. I gotta find me another spot. Damn. Most High sure showed me today. But I like this spot. It's good. A lot of traffic. People. Talking about people. I don't want to stand in a road where you have cars. Like, who are you gonna talk to? The car? Damn. Sorry. Whoa. I hope you can see me. Right. Anyway, so it says here, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, and rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So they're going to be in world peace. That's what I'm seeing right now in the land of Amalek right now. That's not world peace. That's literally the preparations of World War III. And Revelation chapter 17 explains to you that it is the Most High that's putting it in, that will put it in their mind to basically turn right back to where they came and burn their allies with fire, which is that whore, America. Burn her with fire and eat her flesh. That's not talking about capitalism. That's talking about basically the nuclear fire is going to dissolve her, and all things that link unto America is going to be dissolved in that nuclear fire, which includes Asia, that had been a partaker. Look, you're going to have the governments, they're going to fight with each other. But it explains to you in the book of Revelation that the merchants of the earth, they're going to bewail her. They're going to be crying like, oh my goodness, no more merchandise. But the leaders, they got something else in their mind. They be like, man, we gonna throw some gasoline up on that motherfucker over there. You know? The leaders have a different mind from the common people. The leaders don't care about making business transactions with the leaders of the other nations. Especially now when the Most High put in their mind, burn the whore with fire. It's the people. The middle class, the high class, not the elites. Oh, well, some of them will, but more the rulers, I should say that. It's the rulers, the kings. Because you're going to have other nobles that got rich off of trading. Well, not nobles, but they rub elbows with the nobles, which is the bloodline of the people that are born into wealth, not riches. Riches is a bunch of bitches. You can lose that money like a hoe. Well, let me see you trying to get rid of that one. The wealthy people pay the rich people their salaries. Think about it. If I was to be able to pay you $100 million, how much money do I have then? Dummy. You ain't looking at that. And then you go about spending that little $100. The guy that gave you that little $100, nobody knows him. You don't know him because he's not out there in the world